Greetings all, welcome to The Hardest Word with me, your host, Brett de Hoedt.
Sorry I had done with you. I don't deserve. I'm terribly sorry. Sorry, Graham.
Well, it is that time of year once more. St. Valentine's Day, a day when lovers of every age, stage, variety, hopefully around the globe, get to celebrate love, romance, amore, whether it be in the past, in the present, or in the future. So we, once again, at the show, have decided to release, to drop a special Valentine's Day edition. It is our tradition here. And I say tradition because we've done it now twice in a row. We have apologies, brand new and from the archives, from Serbia, from India, from the US, from the UK, from the Philippines. But we shall start outside Karachi, Pakistan, where Rashna Ali is going to apologise for a rather, cheeky, some might say extravagant, some might say dangerous ploy she made when a workplace dynamic got a little bit too intimate for her liking. So enjoy our apologies. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Our new series of The Hardest Word is A, remarkable, B, coming soon. Stand by, but don't stand down. Keep listening.
So, I have always felt rather guilty about this. Hi, my name is Rashna Ali. Few years back, I used to work as external auditor. I was an IT auditor for one of the big four. Usually, an IT auditor is assigned to the finance teams on the clients. I was assigned to a client and I used to sit with finance team. There were a couple of girls I got along with quite well. One of the girls, about 2-3 years younger than me, seemed to like me too much. She wanted to know everything about me. She was nice and sweet, so it didn't bother me much. I liked her. Somehow the topic went to guys, and if I was committed or engaged, in my culture that's pretty usual. So I said I do not want to get married. Personal reasons? Okay, big mistake. Since that time, it seemed it became the mission of her life to find out why I did not want to get married. Any chance she could get, to the point I almost dreaded being in a room with her and tried to stay in meetings with clients as much as possible. Then one day it was break and almost the team had gone out to lunch. And she started her rant again. But why? You're so pretty. You're so nice. Was it a failed relationship? Not everyone is like that. You'll find a great person. Oh boy, such a wrong tangent. I thought I just snapped, like fine, I need to deal with this. Now these are the times I wish I was a normal human being and could handle such situations more maturely. But unfortunately, I'm not. So I sighed, put my laptop down and looked at her. Listen, see, I don't share this with anyone, but since you're my closest friend now, I'll tell you. Things is, I like girls. Now we live in a Muslim society, very religious, very conservative society. She looked at me like I told her I have bodies burned in my backyard. What? She stammered. I continued, yeah, see, I don't like guys, I like girls, and that is not allowed in our religion, so I can't really get married, can I? Even if I wanted to. I looked at her all sadly. She looked at me and laughed nervously. Hee, I know you're kidding, right? And I took another sad sigh and looked away from her, saying, yeah, it's better if you think that. And she goes, you are scaring me. Why are you saying that? And I just smiled at her and looked at her with the dirtiest look I can muster and said, you are so beautiful. After that, she is the one who avoided staying in the same room as me. To her credit, I did not hear one rumor about me being a lesbian. I'm really thankful for that. However, I really think I scared her, so I really would like to apologize to her. I wish I had handled it differently. It was all a joke, but I later I when I think about it, it feel really bad. I feel bad for scaring her like that. I am sorry, I am not a lesbian. Not that I have anything against that. To each his own. I don't want to get married because it's just a choice I made early on and nothing has persuaded me otherwise yet. I just got annoyed by your constant nagging. I hope you have forgotten all about it, but I also hope you never ask anyone such personal questions too.
Today I thought of texting you. Good morning, I can't sleep. I didn't, because we are no longer part of each other's journeys. We had many conversations already, and I know it seemed like nothing is left to say, but it's not true. I have an apology to make to both you and myself. I'm a lesbian. It feels so liberating to say it out loud, without a shame. I was hiding my sexuality as a secret, and it felt like I'm living in quicksand. When you told your family the same, they said it okay. I never had that. I never heard it is okay. Yet I'm not trying to justify myself. I'm taking blame for being a coward. I will never forgive myself for not being with you when you were in the hospital. I was scared of my mom's reaction. I worried too much not to disappoint her, and I end up disappointing myself. I was supposed to defend our love. I'm sorry. I'm also sorry for each time my mood was changing, for being distant. I'm sorry for each time I made you cry. When I asked you to move to Serbia, you thought I was testing you. You knew I'm not playing either to move back here. I didn't test you. I wanted you to see how different it is here. It is not like in Spain. Gay couples can even hold hands on the street. I thought that if you see it, you would forgive me. I'm sorry. Maybe you would have a chance if I explained you. I'm also sorry for not taking your calls now and for refusing to see you. I hope that one day you'll understand it's not due to the absence of emotions, but too much love. It hurts to have you close, because your voice and your face is a constant reminder of what I lost. Maybe one day the wounds will heal. I also have a lot of things to forgive you for. But guess what? Today I am. We won't even celebrate this day together, but with other people. Happy Valentine's Day, babe. And good morning. I can't sleep.
Dear Timmy, I miss our unofficial dates. You were 1 year younger than me, but somehow managed to be the one to understand me, not the other way around. I'm sorry for how I made a fool of you, even though I was the one that reached to you first with the exact message, "Hope I didn't bother you in the park." My mother died the summer before the autumn we started talking, and you knew that pretty well. You never asked too many questions, and that was a plus. Randomly, we started talking for hours about everything I liked. Every passion of mine became one of yours. You even got the same longboard as mine. 2 weeks after, we had our first date, where we spent almost 2 hours just looking at each other. It felt better than being surrounded by people who talk. The beginning of our end was when you tried to make it official to others. I have just won my first handball match when I received a call from my friend asking me if I really was in a relationship with you. I completely denied it. It was our secret. How could you do that? After that misunderstanding came another one about moving away. You only moved the neighborhood away, but made it seem like a big deal. I was so angry that I blocked you, deleted all of our conversation, and pretended like it never happened. It was like denying that water exists. I saw you on the bus 3 years after, and I entirely froze. You grew up to be this handsome guy, and I bet girls are battling to win your heart. All I am left with is hope that I didn't make you feel insecure about yourself. However, when our eyes met, I knew somehow that I was still a memory of yours. whether it's a good one or a bad one. Sincerely, Alexandra.
Recently, I realized something which I was trying to neglect for a long time now. Babe, I'm really sorry. I don't really love you. The thing is that when you came to propose me, I was very lonely and desperate and just wanted something physical. I was not ready for a real relationship. That's why when you wanted to be part of my life, I became selfish and accepted your proposal and just to fulfill my needs. But I feel really guilty because you're giving me so much love and I'm not returning even 1% of it. You deserve so much. You are doing whatever you can to make things work and make me happy. This guilt is really killing me. I want to see you happy, but the truth is I don't love you. I'm really sorry for whatever I have done to you. I really wish I could feel for you just the way you do for me. But I'm really sorry that can't happen.
My dearest Jess, we've known each other now for 7 years, my entire adulthood so far. I can still remember the day we met as if it were yesterday. I donated my hair to cancer patients earlier that afternoon. I was feeling rather vulnerable without it, but you accepted me as I was. You made me feel like myself. That's part of what made us best friends, of course, but it's also what made me develop a crush on you, a crush that's lasted years. To be honest, I wonder if it will ever truly subside. In the Havanal, there's a verse that says, "Wise men oft unto witless fools are made by mighty love." It's taken me a long time to realize it, to accept it, but I acted like a fool. Instead of talking to you about how I felt, I tried to make you jealous with other women. And on the few occasions when I did say something, my timing was so bad, I think part of me wanted you to say no. You were dating other guys at the time. Of course you were going to say no. Proving myself an even bigger fool, I had a mental breakdown over the fact we weren't together. I don't know if Andrew ever told you about that. But what makes me an even bigger fool is the fact that I never realized how unfair it all was to you. I was so caught up in how it affected me that I never stopped to think about how much pressure it must have put on you. I'm sorry for that. You deserved far better. I love you always. Nathan.
Many years ago, I had a lovely boyfriend called John. He was my first boyfriend, so first ever proper relationship with a young man. And we were, how old were we? We were 17. I was quite a late starter. 17 when we got together, and he was the absolute and utter love of my life at that time. Now, we both went to the same university together. We went to a university called Swansea University in the United Kingdom, and I hated it. I hated the university. I went there because I wanted to be with John, and I was warned not to do that, and I really didn't like the university for a variety of reasons. So I left. I dropped out, and I came home. John stayed on, which was great, so we then tried to maintain a long-term relationship, and I wasn't very good at that. I really wasn't very good at that. To the point where I went out with somebody else and I dumped John. And I dumped John by text after being with him for 3 years. What a horrible thing to do. What a horrible, horrible thing to do, isn't it? And John obviously wanted to have closure, so he pursued me on social media, via my phone, via my parents' house, because I wasn't living there. He didn't know where I was. And I just blocked every avenue to him, so he couldn't ever discuss this with me. In fact, he's even tried to make contact with me over the last few years, and I've blocked him again. So, John, now I know you're married and I know you've got 2 kids and you're okay, but I'm really, really sorry that you still feel the need to get closure on a relationship that ended quite a long time ago. So, John, I'm really sorry. I was very young. I was very stupid. You were lovely. It wasn't your fault. It was my fault. And, I just want you to get on with your life now and move on. Please, I'm sorry. It was not, oh God, this sounds like a cliche, doesn't it? It wasn't you. It was me. But it really was. I wasn't ready for a long-term relationship, and you were, and you've got one, and that's great. So I'm sorry. Please accept my apology, close the book, and move on with your new life. Thanks, John. Take care.
Dear Fred, the last exchange of chat messages we had a year ago makes me feel guilty up to this day. I know that you were only trying to be polite and nice, like you have always been since high school. I don't hate you or anything. It's just that I don't feel comfortable when someone I've always known would treat me all of a sudden like I was some kind of an instant princess. I wasn't even just a princess, one spoiled with gifts. No, I was like a queen. I could smell your fear, Sorry that the last chat I sent you was, I will never talk to you if you kept calling me ma'am, which you did, as if it was something involuntary. It would have been easier cutting you out of my life had you been rude or obnoxious, but you were really kind to me. I remember how you would drive me home in your passenger tricycle back in high school. My 2 girlfriends would also ask that you drive them home too, and you did, for free. There were times when we would just sit together under a tree and study for our next test. I liked hanging out with you because you were sensitive and didn't make any advances, unlike your friends. I went to college and you didn't. At 18, you had opened a small bakery and distributed tiny 1 peso bread to sari-sari stores. Your tricycle had a new customized sidecar when you showed up at the university gate. I had this weird feeling of fearing other people might think that we were dating. But I told myself, Fred is my friend, and friends don't need to be good looking to be good. But then there were times when I could feel you inch towards me when we walk in the street so that your arm would brush against mine. You began sending me texts so consistently I thought you were wasting my precious study time with your sweet nothings. Many times I would feel so disappointed when my phone beeps, only to find that the text was from you, instead of someone else I was actually interested in. So I stopped tolerating you. I had to put my niceness towards you to end because you might think that we're best friends or something. And yet, you would still bug me with your messages. I ignored your messages until they were almost gone over the years. But a month ago, I was in a bad mood and told you that I would stop replying to your chats. I'm kind of relieved I didn't have to deal with you anymore. But I also miss your kind and serene company sometimes. I hope you find someone better than me. Your friend, Vicky.
The Hardest Word podcast.com is the website where you can stream all our episodes in case you don't do this whole podcasting business. On behalf of Brian Wallace, our audio director who does all the music, editing and mixing, and me, your humble host, Brett Hoedt. It's time to bring this whole sorry business to a close.